everyone, I hope you're all really well. So today is going to be a video about my kind of post-birth recovery tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call them, and just a bit of advice that I would like to give any of you who are about to give birth. I feel for you so much if you're about to give birth at the moment. I gave birth 4 days before we went into lockdown, and it's been very, very, very challenging. And so if you're doing it well in lockdown, I can't even imagine how tough it must be. So I really, really do feel for you. I'm sure it's hard at the best of times, never mind about in this weird, weird situation that we're all in. But I didn't kind of particularly have a plan of what I was going to do post-birth. I knew I wanted to really take it easy and just recover a little bit, but me being me, I didn't do that. Which leads me on to my first tip, which is to really, really take it easy. Even if you think you feel fine, what you'll find is that the first few days, regardless of what sort of delivery you've had, I had a normal delivery. I was induced. It was a very, very fast delivery, and I had an episiotomy as well, which was an absolute bitch to recover from. So take it easy. Don't start doing loads of housework. Don't start. Literally the day after I gave birth, I was hoovering, and I didn't need to be. There was, you know, another person who could have done it. I just wanted to feel, like I was doing something. And in retrospect, I really, really wasn't up to it. Which leads me on to the next point, which is visitors. I was quite adamant from the get-go. I didn't want to have loads of visitors. Obviously, at the moment, you won't be having any visitors anyway, so it's irrelevant. But if you were to have visitors, I knew that I didn't want to have loads of visitors. However, people want to come round, and in a way, I'm glad that I did have visitors, because it then meant that you know, like, imagine if it was in lockdown and kind of we didn't have any visitors for the few days that we could. That wouldn't have been great either. But I, like, the day we came home from the hospital, we had a house full of people, and you know, it was only like my family and stuff, and they brought food and everyone was really helpful and everything like that. But I wasn't up to it. I wasn't up to being around that many people. I wasn't up for that much conversation. I was really, really in pain from the episiotomy. Like, I was struggling to sort of sit down comfortably. People want to sort of hold the baby and stuff, and people just, you know, people want to come around because they're being nice. But I would say to try and limit it a little bit more, and I sort of do wish that I'd done that, because I think that was what led me to sort of, after about 3 days, feeling really, really burnt out and overwhelmed, because it was too much. We had Paul's mum came just after I'd given birth as well, which again was really lucky, because obviously otherwise she wouldn't have seen the baby for months at a time because of lockdown. But I'm suddenly like acutely aware as well that, like, you know, you could be watching this video in years to come and you're thinking, what are you talking about? This is 2020, what are we now? May? Yeah, May 2020, and we're in the midst of coronavirus and we're still in lockdown here. Which means you don't go out, you don't see people, you don't do anything. Yeah, I would say to kind of really, really try and take it easy. Now, as I said, I had a regular delivery, so I can only sort of tell you tips for that, really. But I did find that one thing that really did help me with the fact that I did have an episiotomy was the fact that I did have a Brazilian wax a few days before I gave birth. I did it myself. I always do it myself. And that really, really helped, I felt, to keep the area kind of clean and to just be able to kind of see what was going on a little bit. Which, you know, don't even get me started on that first time when you look at it after you've had an episiotomy. It's not an enjoyable experience. It's terrifying. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it was scary. But it kind of kept the area a lot more clean, and it was a lot easier to kind of keep dry and all of that kind of thing. So that really helped. I didn't bleed very much at all post-birth. I know some people do. I didn't. So the pads that I was really enjoying to start off with, I was using these, which are the, I just kept the packet because I finished them. They're the Kotex Nighttime, and they're like sort of the quite thick, kind of puffy ones almost. And they were good at the beginning because you're so tender that when you sit down, you kind of need that little bit of a cushion there. And something that I found that was absolutely life-changing was I was using witch hazel. You can just buy this anywhere. and I was putting some of it onto the pads and then popping them into the freezer, so that every time I went to change my pad, which was quite frequently, you get that kind of cold sensation, and that really did help to make me feel a little bit more comfortable and less sore. Momentarily it then does come back, obviously, but it really helps. So I think you really do need to stock up on some of this post-birth, and with those pads as well. After I stopped bleeding tons, even though it really wasn't tons for me, like I said, but after the kind of bleeding subsided, when it was a little bit more just kind of like a, you know, just, I don't know, less, I then moved on to these Always nighttime ones, just because they make you feel a little bit secure. Another thing I will say about feeling secure, if you're somebody who is a tampon user, not a pad user, which is me, I haven't used pads for donkey's years, I'm a tampon kind of girl, then something that I find really helpful was to wear 2 pairs of knickers. Now you're going to think it sounds weird, but it just kind of keeps everything a lot more intact and a lot more secure. So just literally buy some cheap like M&S or Primark high-waisted black knickers, like proper, you know, Bridget Jones knickers, and just wear 2 pairs. Like put the pad in one, put it on, and then put another pair of knickers over the top. And I find it just kind of helps to keep everything a little bit more compact, and it doesn't move as much, and it's less uncomfortable, because I find pads really uncomfortable, not to mention a bit yucky as well. Another thing that really helped was I was told not to to shower as opposed to have a bath, which, if you know me, is hard because I love a bath. But once I did start having a bath again, I only used Epsom salts in the bath for about 2 weeks, and I felt they really helped my stitches heal nicely. So you can just get Epsom salts from anywhere. Make sure they are just Epsom salts. Don't get ones that have like essential oils and stuff, because you don't want to aggravate the area. But these worked really well for me, and I think these ones were just like from Home Bargains or somewhere like that, but they just a big scoop in the bath, and it just really helped. They also help with kind of sore muscles, which is something that I had from the epidural. My back was really sore, and I think it was also from the position that I'd been lying in for hours. So what I found really helpful for that was this, which I actually used while I was pregnant on my lower back as well. And it's the Deep Freeze Pain Relief Glide On Gel. And I would just put a big lot of this kind of on the area that hurt, and it really helped, because deep heat and stuff, I don't know, I just didn't fancy it. I didn't fancy the stickiness, and the kind of cooling sensation of this just did really help to kind of alleviate any muscle pain that I had in the back of my back. And also you kind of get that cramp in your tummy and stuff like that, and I just found it was quite helpful. Then another thing that I wanted to say is, some people like to just kind of, you know, really let go and just wear their pajamas, you know, proper hair in a bun, blah. I did have days of that. I did have days where I got dressed. I definitely felt better on the days that I got dressed, because, like I said, I didn't have a C-section or anything like that. After about a week or two, when I felt a little bit more kind of comfortable, I then did start wearing clothes that were kind of a little bit more supportive, so not just wearing jogging bottoms and your comfiest clothes. So I'd wear like yoga leggings and that kind of thing, like that's what I've got on today, because I felt like they just kind of kept your stomach nice and kind of flattened a little bit, and it made you feel a bit nicer. So that's something to bear in mind. But in terms of grooming and stuff, I did keep on top of the bare minimum. I think it's really important to still make sure you shower. You don't want everything to just kind of descend into chaos. So I did make sure that I had a shower every morning, and I usually have a shower or a bath at night. Get out, put some kind of cream on, because like body lotion, because my skin was really dry, and, you know, put some moisturiser on my face or whatever. Do a little bit of a skincare routine. Make sure I wash my face at night, even if I didn't have any makeup on, and then I just spritz myself with like a nice body spray or something like that, just to feel a little bit more human, and it just makes you feel a little bit perked up. This is a nice one. It's just the So Musk one, and I just do like a nice liberal spritzing of that all over before I got dressed. I know you need to be careful, like with the baby and stuff, obviously, but I do it like underneath areas where I didn't think that she'd be near if I had clothes on, and it just made me feel so much nicer, so much fresher, just a little bit more perked up and a little bit better, and it's something that I really think does a lot for your well-being. Another thing I wanted to say as well is, in terms of food choices post-birth, try and just have things at home that are just easy for you to grab, because there's a lot of sitting on the sofa and a lot of trying to eat with one hand, and you want things that are just easy. You don't want things that like are a whole like cooking ordeal and that kind of thing. You want to just keep it really simple. Things like biscuits, you know, I know they're not nutritious, but you know, biscuits, fruit, things you can just grab as you're kind of like doing stuff, I found personally to be the best option. But it's very, very challenging post-birth recovery, I found anyway. It's something that no one really prepares you for, no one really talks about, and it's very, very hard going, and you do need to kind of really try and just take it slow. I think because I overdid it was why I struggled for a longer time frame as well. I had a really weird sickness thing afterwards as well, where I was really, really sick for like 5 days, like so sick to a point where I couldn't even keep water down. I had to ring the GP and get them to prescribe me anti-nausea tablets. I don't know what was going on. Some people said it's like the hormones leaving your body, which it could have been. It could have been a reaction to the epidural. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was really, really horrible, and something that I don't know, I think it was my fault because I overdid it, so I did need to have a bit more of a rest then. But then saying that, now it's like people say, you know, sleep when the baby sleeps. Like, I don't have 500 million other things to do while that's happening, like shower, get dressed, eat, answer my emails, like stuff, you know, life still goes on, you still have stuff to do. Laundry, the never-ending amounts of laundry I seem to have. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless, just a few little tips, and I physically I'm sort of feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. My episiotomy is pretty much healed now, but it's still a little bit sore and a little bit like scary. I haven't had a wax since I gave birth, actually. Oh, that's insane. That means I haven't had a wax for 2 months. That's, you don't want to know what I was going to say, TMI, but yeah, I'm not particularly hairy, so I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so I will love you and leave you because my battery's about to die anyway, but really, really try and make sure you just take it slow and take care of yourself, because it's a time in your life where you do really, really need to slow down, and I didn't slow down enough, and I think that's why I did really, really struggle. I still don't slow down enough now. I'm always kind of like doing things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless, and I'll see you all soon. Please leave any tips you've got down below as well. I'm sure that will be really useful for us, and yeah, bye.